So again, welcome to Spirit 360 Fellowship. I'm T.S. Hall, the Stoic Medium. And I'm the spiritual director and founder. And I've got one intention and one intention only, and that is to help you rediscover spirit. And that's rediscover your spirit self, that part of you that lives after you die. Rediscover your spirit guides and teachers if you believe that they are there. I'll show you how to communicate with them and connect them with verifiable results. But more importantly, and especially in these uncertain times, to help you reconnect, rediscover, and reignite your spirit for living. You see, we are in uncertain times, unprecedented times, unpredictable times. But if you're like most old souls, most people who have been around multiple lifetimes, they seem somehow familiar, somehow very predictable, very certain. And it's not your first pandemic rodeo. You know, for an old soul, someone who's beginning to open the spiritual eyes of their soul to perceive those things spiritual, experiences in times like these are kind of like, you know, you're wearing a pair of blue jeans you haven't worn in a while, and you've worn them for, you know, a couple of hours, and you reach into a pocket and you feel something. And what you feel is you recognize it. That's money, folding money. And when you pull it out, indeed it's money. And it's warm and soft and comfortable in your hand, not unlike the comfortable jeans you're wearing. That's a sense of déjà vu, a sense of, I've been here before. I know what's coming. This feels right. And even in uncertain, unpredictable, and unprecedented times, for an old soul, it's somehow going to work out. You know that. As I've been processing my own feelings and what's been going on with me, I realized that this experience of déjà vu, this sense of been here, done that, got the t-shirt, falls into three basic categories of uncertainty: relational, situational, and experiential. And relational déjà vu is you see something, you connect with someone, you have a moment where two minds connect, and you know you've been there before. More importantly, you know that you've been there before with this person. Situationally, sitting in my house, planning every trip out as though I could be exposed to something dangerous, that feels familiar as well. It's not like the first time I've had to take precautions to go out into the world. And then experiential, sitting home, worried about my loved ones, worried about those I care about. More importantly, worrying that I don't do anything that harms or infects them. Seems very familiar. What's interesting is these familiar feelings aren't from past lifetimes, they're from this lifetime. I've had situations in my life before where I've met someone, connected with someone very personally, and I know that I've met them before. I've been in situations where I felt unsafe, insecure, and I've had experiences of fear and doubt. Each one of us have had a lifetime filled with experiences, filled with trials and tribulations. The good news is we've survived all that. You're here listening to this now. So you are a survivor, and you will continue to survive. If you apply your awareness, your common sense, and listen to what the experts say about the factual data available to us, you'll survive, and you know you survive. But here's the part I really want you to embrace right now. I really want you to see as an opportunity. in this circumstance right now, the rut of your life has been interrupted. That continual cycle of doing the same thing over and over and over again has been broken. You have change, and change is that only constant in the universe. So while times are uncertain, you've been through similar types of experiences before, and you've always landed on your feet. Sometimes it hurt like hell. Sometimes you learned a lot. Sometimes you got scarred and beat up, but you landed on your feet. You survived. And this time you will as well. You see, when things are unpredictable, when things are unprecedented, they aren't really. Because nothing really ever new happened. Even when things are unprecedented, they aren't really. Because when things are unprecedented, there's some feeling inside that knows they really aren't unprecedented. They've happened before to different people. Our world's history, over billions of years, has experienced pandemics, has experienced uncertain times, has experienced war, has experienced mass death. So they are precedented, but maybe not for you the first time. And this is where our sense of déjà vu starts to kick in. And there's 3 types of déjà vu experiences I've noticed. And the first is kind of like is inside the body. The second is inside our mind, and the third is inside of our spirit. And it's our mind's awareness of the 3 to be able to differentiate them that will help us chart a course forward to get where we want to go after these circumstances and this situation is over. So inside of our body, we had an experience in the past, and we remembered it. We've made a map of the world, our worldview, if you will, about what works and what doesn't work. And in stressful situations, our body falls back on that training, back on those beliefs, back on that mindset that we know will help us survive. This is our instinct, if you will. Some of that instinct is part of our DNA, part of our spiritual growth and development as animals. And some of it was learned this lifetime by the people who raised us. But this body experience, this physical experience, creates a set of circumstances and feelings and behaviors and perceptions that will help the physical body survive. The most easily identifiable is the fight, flight, or freeze, where we get into stress and we want to fight our way out, or we get into stress and we want to run away from everything, or we get into stress and we freeze and we get paralyzed. Not uncommon. And in fact, you know and have experienced these yourself. From a mental and mindset point of view, our minds have long struggled, overthought, experienced anxiety and depression, having internal battles between these instinctual physical experiences and our spiritual intuitive experiences. So you have 2 sets of information coming from 2 sets of senses. You have information going through your physical body and your physical senses. But then you also have information coming from your spiritual body and your intuitive senses, your psychic senses, if you will. And this information often conflicts with each other and creates this battle inside of our head, which causes overthinking, causes anxiety, causes depression, causes physical and physiological changes, chemical changes in our physical makeup, which are many times in direct response to our physiological responses of fight, flight, or freeze, but also have to do with our entire experience as a spiritual being. And that leads us into the third type of déjà vu, which is a past lifetime experience, something in your spiritual awareness, your spiritual evolution, where you've been through circumstances and situations like this before. You know, in the grand scheme of things, we're all going to end up in the same place, 6 feet under with this body, and on the other side, reconnecting with our loved ones and friends that we've known over the years and the decades and the millennia inside of a spiritual reunion. So that's the end game. The question is how are we going to get there? What are we going to accomplish along the way? And that's where spiritual growth, spiritual development, and free will, if you will, takes part, takes hold, and allows us to pick and choose the context with which we allow ourselves to experience this unprecedented time during this lifetime. The last area I really want to talk about is this whole area. The last thing I want to talk about is this unpredictability we find ourselves in. When's the economy going to open? When am I going to start running fever? When am I going to run into some jerk at the line going to get groceries or gas? This unpredictability is, again, centered around 3 different things: our physiological, mental, and spiritual experiences. So the first 2 I've already covered. You know, you deal with confrontation, you deal with uncertainty, you deal with unpredictability, you deal with unprecedented circumstances and times, the way your body's going to deal with them. However, there's one part that's been fascinating to me. And as a spiritualist minister and someone who's practiced meditation and psychic and healing development for the last 30 years, from time to time I run into something. And it is as though I've had very specific training for a situation or a circumstance which I've had no personal knowledge or recollection of. And there's this funny little thing that from time to time creeps up. And it's called soul travel, and it's when one of our teachers, while the physical body's asleep, takes our spirit self, the part of us that lives after we die, and trains us for very specific situations and circumstances that we may need based on the trajectory of our life, which we don't have any knowledge of. And the classic example of this is a guy who was mountain climbing for one of the first or second times, and a catastrophe happened, and several climbers started to fall. And in the moment, without thinking, through muscle memory, he created a very advanced knot, tied it into the safety system, and that knot stopped everyone from falling off the mountain and being pulled off the mountain. And the group leader, a very experienced climber, said, very few people in the world know this knot, much less a novice who's just starting out. So every now and then, while we're sleeping, we're receiving very specific training on the spiritual side, which then is interpreted through our mental awareness and control, that allows us to react and respond to situations where we've had no previous experience of. And that's what I want you to understand and know about this whole concept of déjà vu. this whole concept of pandemic, this whole concept of losing our rights, if you will, it's not your first rodeo. You've been here before. You've done this before. Allow yourself to master the 3 R's, right meditation, right thought, and right action. And inside the right thinking part, allow yourself to be informed not only by your physiological and physical abilities and skills, but by your spiritual knowing, awareness, and understanding. That's why we meditate first. We clear the blackboard. We allow ourselves to be here now and see things as they really are. After doing that for a few moments, 5-10 minutes, twice a day, we're able to clear the blackboard in a very quick and efficient manner. Then you can go into the right thinking process. You can really look at where you need to go next. And more importantly, what's the best step to get you there? And if you allow yourself to not only reference what you know from this physical life, this set of beliefs, this set of personal truths, tribal truths, and allow yourself to really perceive and understand and accept that there may be another way, and that way is buried within your awareness, within your spiritual knowing, within your spiritual experience, not only from this lifetime, but from past lifetimes. Plus, you have the experience of your spirit guides and teachers who can help as well. So the whole right thinking process is using every bit of information that you have at your disposal, which the more aware you become, the more resources you have. And after you've had counsel with your own spirit self and your spirit guides and teachers and your own knowledge and wisdom from this lifetime, you make a decision, but you make a decision that is actionable. My next step to get where I'm going this lifetime is X. Then you set about taking that step. Then the next step, and the next step, and the next step. And throughout this marathon called life, whether we are in the middle of a pandemic, or we are returning to normal, or we're looking in the eyes of our loved ones, fully present, fully aware, fully in love with life and where life's going, we have this sense of déjà vu, the sense of knowing, the sense of been there, done that everything's going to work out. Your context for your actions and your experiences changes simply because you've mastered all of the information, all of the resources at your disposal, both physical and spiritual. To wrap up, I want to share with you how you can use the 3 R's to become unstoppable. And if you allow yourself to shift your context, shift your awareness from one of limitations to one of possibilities, and allow yourself to truly surf and negotiate and travel and plan your way through these unprecedented, unpredictable, and uncertain times, you need one piece of information. And that one piece of information is where I'm going. And once you know where you're going, once you have a map pin out in the future, once you have a purpose, and you know why you're going there, and you know your whole self, both as a physical being and a spiritual being, you'll find that you can more easily take the steps needed take the steps you know to take to get the results you want, regardless of circumstances. Now, here's the thing I really want you to understand. Circumstances are not going to change. The circumstances are going to be the same. The only thing that's changing is your perspective, your context, how you see them. But more importantly, you change the number and level of your resources available to transcend any barrier, any problem, any complication. It's not going to be easy, but it's never been easy. But it can go from being impossible to being quite possible. And who knows? You may even have a little fun along the way. And that's the key to being unstoppable. Realizing that life's going to keep on throwing stuff at you left and right. The waves are going to come in hard and fast. And as you're trying to get through life, you're going to get hit in the face, you're going to struggle, and that shift in mentality, that shift in context allows you to take everything in stride. When that jerk cuts you off, you kind of smile and wish them a better day. When someone is being an asshole in the gas line or yelling at you because they don't think you're wearing your mask right, you really start to see through their eyes the stress that they are under. There's a level of empathy, a level of comprehending the overall human condition of which you are a participant. But you participate as the source of creation for your own experience. You become unstoppable in your journey towards a destination that you chose for the reason you chose to go there, using all the resources of who you are. The choice is yours. It is now, it always has been, and it always will be. Good luck in making a choice that serves you best in accomplishing what you incarnated this lifetime to accomplish. Because I know that these pieces of the puzzle you are collecting are bringing you closer and closer to the ultimate personal, individual, spiritual perfection, or nirvana. Might as well enjoy the ride. My highest blessings. I want to thank you for joining us here today. A couple of announcements, and then we're going to go off and have our interactive service. First announcement is our classes at Old Soul Academy are opening. I'll leave a link in the descriptions below. The second thing is, after this live broadcast of the talk, we invite our members, people who are members of our website, to join us for an interactive service. And then in the interactive service, we do a meditation. We offer a guided visualization for healing, self-healing. We offer absence healing, where we can send people that we love healing directed by spirit. And then I offer as many as practical, I offer messages to those who are in attendance, a message from their spirit guides and teachers or mine. So to sign up for that and to get on the list of notifications of where we're holding that virtual interactive service, go to spirit360.org. There'll be a link in the description, and join our mailing list, and then you'll receive an invitation of the link where we will be gathering after this live broadcast. Spirit 360 Fellowship is to get it dedicated to one thing and one thing only, helping you to rediscover spirit, rediscover your spirit self, your spirit guides and teachers, and more importantly, reigniting that spirit for living in life. And a simple shift in context, backed by rigorous spiritual practice, and bringing into your awareness the true power of your mind is a game worth playing, in my humble opinion. And until next time, my highest blessings. Give us a like if you like what we're doing. Give us a thumbs down if you think I'm a jerk and you don't like it. All of it's helpful and beneficial. But more importantly, be safe. Trust your awareness. And know that you've survived things like this before this lifetime and in past lifetimes. And again, we will survive. And in so doing, break the rut of our lives and have the opportunity to create something more remarkable in our journey to where we're going. My highest blessings.